Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to some more Let's Play Underrail. In the last video, we fought our way through the Institute of Chort, smiting cultists left and right as we searched it for the strange cube that they had taken from Cortec. We did not find it within, but strange earthquakes began to happen as we fought our way through, or trembles, or what have you, rumbling. And when we reached the elevator that would lead us down to Deep Caverns and activated it, we suddenly saw the Faceless break through. I guess they had broken through a little earlier and eventually made their way down to where we were located. We managed to hold off against the Faceless and take the elevator down to Deep Caverns. They sabotaged it on our way down. We, thankfully, were able to climb a ladder and get into the Deep Caverns, which is where we're located right now. Holy crap. And now we're going to go down and see what is waiting for us down here. Before we get going, I want to mention 3 things first. Number 1, if you are watching this from this part on, you should know that there's going to be spoilers. I'm going to drop spoilers all over the place. So if you want to do Deep Caverns blind, completely blind, obviously don't, granted we got this far together. If you want to play Underrail blind, you probably wouldn't be watching a Let's Play. But I'm going to drop spoilers as to things which will be happening in this place as we go through. I'll be telling you why I'm making certain decisions that I'm making as we're playing through the game as well from this point on. So I'm going to be using some foresight and some metagaming when it comes to Deep Caverns, in particular because of how grueling Deep Caverns can be. It is quite unforgiving to you. Number 2, actually it might be 4 things. Number 2, because of the difficulty of Deep Caverns, if you are going to pick up and play this game, I highly encourage you to make a save slot before you even enter the Institute in your attempt to get to the Deep Caverns. In other words, when the earthquakes start in the Institute, save your game if you joined the Institute. And if you plan on fighting through the Institute, as I just did, do it, make a save slot before you even step foot in it. Because if things go poorly for you down here, and you accidentally saved over those save slots, there ain't no leaving this place once you're down in it. You have to suffer through the entire thing. I say suffer because it's not going to be nearly as bad as it was for me with Garrett the first time. I know what to expect down here now. But, oh man, it is not easy. This is not an easy place to be. I'll make it look easy because, again, I've done all this before. But it's not simple. Number 3. If you're looking for a more leveled character, you probably want to do the Chortist's quests. This is because there's a lot more experience to be gained by doing all those quests than killing the Chortists. We did gain 20,000 experience points just fighting our way through what we did, which is pretty amazing, if I'm being honest. That's quite a lot, almost half a level. But you can get at least 1 entire level doing all the quests the Chortists give to you, and you'll learn more about their ideology and about them themselves. So, there's that as well. I don't think we'll hit level 30 with Gabriel unless I do more content after I'm done with the Deep Caverns. Finally, I should have said begone thought when I killed Amelia upstairs, but I thought it was more appropriate to answer her question as I slammed the sledgehammer into her. I feel kind of bad for her. She's just doing what it takes to make sure no unwelcomables. Is that a word? That's a word now. Step foot into the Institute. And, well, we were one such person. Felt good to say that, though. I am very surprised. Oh, actually, maybe not as surprised as I thought I would be, that we managed to make it through the Institute. Because of how badly I failed, like, the first 3 characters I had tried to get through there. In particular, J-Dirk. God, that sucks so much. I'm surprised I did as well as I did with Gabriel, going through it and killing everyone. I think it really helps that I had all these drugs with me. And it also helped that I knew the layout of the place and kind of remembered which rooms I might want to be really prepared for. It also helped that I realized when the Faceless would show up. Oop, get the music change. Alright, everyone. Oh, it's been so long. It hasn't been. It's been like 6 months. Welcome to Deep Caverns, everyone. We won't be leaving here for some time. This episode, as a heads up, will have a great deal of talking in it, and almost no fighting. Just a heads up as well. Like, a lot of talking. We're going to get a lot of exposition as to what's going on down here, and what we're supposed to do. From at least 2 people. We'll also get some background as to what started this entire event. Oh, right. We can't go this way yet. I think this is completely locked, isn't it? Oh, it's not. But we can't reach the switch. There's an electronic lock here, but there's no power. So, we're about to meet someone who has a lot of exposition to tell us about our... Well, that's the wrong term, Tim. He's going to give us the lowdown on what we need to do down here. It would have made... There he is, right there. 6. He is guarding this path, and we must talk to him to make some progress. Let's just do that now. There is much that strikes you as wrong upon seeing this person. He is quite tall and a bit too lean for a human. His mechanical prosthetic right arm and left leg are clearly visible. On both his mechanical and healthy hand, he has 6 long, thin, creepy fingers. His face is completely covered, and he appears to wear some sort of metal mask with 4 protruding lenses, and there's another extension on his very forehead that looks like a short gun barrel. Instead of hair, rigid wires protrude from the back of his head. As he speaks, his deep rumbling voice feels somehow displaced, as if not coming out of his mouth. You are here. Good. Who are you? Do not be intimidated by my appearance. I wish to speak with you. Well, if we're going to talk, can we start by you telling me your name? What do I call you? Ra'umbra. Why are you waiting for me, Ra'umbra? We haven't met before, yet it is certain that we merely did not perceive each other at the Chortists Institute, rather than not being the participants of the same event. Well, 1 second, what was that statement, 6? We haven't met before, yet it is certain that we merely did not perceive each other at the Chortists Institute. I think he's saying that we didn't bump into each other at the Chortists University upstairs, and that was just a coincidence. That it just so happened we didn't see each other, but we were both there doing something to fight the Chortists, or we witnessed the faceless attack. Okay, sorry, that sentence reads really weird to me. As I connect events I have witnessed, I wonder in how many more of those we passed by each other, unaware that the other was nearby. So, you too want the cube? Yes, but for a different reason than you. What's the deal with that cube? Most of what happened recently seems to somehow revolve around it. Your questions are sidetracking the conversation. Listen, and I will tell you what you need to know. The artifact. It is in possession of what you know as Chort. Chort must be destroyed, and the artifact returned to the tunnelers. Faceless, refer to them as you wish. They are not your enemies. You share more common goals than you had ever thought. And it is I who needs to do all this. Actually, let's go with 2. All this talk makes me feel like I'm some kind of chosen one. Your arrival here is not a coincidence. You will play an important part in Chort's destruction, or even outright destroy it on your own. All events which have led to this one here have produced a setting, a frame. Your deficient language prevents me from conveying the meaning properly, in which the only outcome is for you and Chort to meet. The only possible way for you to create an exit out of Deep Caverns is to destroy Chort. I have contemplated it greatly, considered possibilities you are not remotely aware of, and I inferred no alternative. If you want Chort dead so badly, why don't you kill it yourself? That is not my event. I find it difficult to explain, as I have stated, but it is something that must occur, and you are the main participant. Of course, I could be wrong about you, and this frame ends up being your grave, this conversation meaningless to you and detrimental to me. I think, everyone, what he's getting at, I think I realized this when I was playing Garrett as well, is that I think this is a bit like, oh, spoiler for another twin-stick shooter that I don't think you guys have ever even heard of, let alone played, called Our Darker Purpose. Okay? Skip ahead. If, I don't know, 3 minutes or so. I suspect that he's talking about how we, like, save and load the game, how we fail, but then I reload and a different Gabriel effectively continues. As in a different dimension. I suspect that's what 6 is getting at here. That perhaps this Gabriel fails, but another one will eventually succeed. Alternatively, it could be more global. It could be something like Dark Souls, which I heard that what were they called now? All the undead that you fight, I can't remember what they're called. There's a particular name for them, and I can't remember. But all the undead, like in the starting jail, for example, they're the leftovers from everyone who played Dark Souls and never beat the game. The ones who gave up, eventually gave up their humanity and became the mindless undead. It could be that we are a character who's here to fight Chort, and as long as we don't give up, we will eventually do so and hopefully win. Alternatively, there are many other people who play this game who will probably get to Chort and not be able to defeat it, or will just give up in the deep caverns. I remember how hated, and I think it still is hated, the deep caverns are on the Underrail forums, or at least they were. Very poo-pooed how what the difficulty is down here, and your objective. I'll give my final thoughts when I review the game at the end of this playlist. But I remember reading a lot about it. I didn't read anything about this place other than how much people really disliked it. Having gone through Deep Caverns now, I can understand a lot of their complaints. Alright, let's continue. The more I ponder the events which led you here, however, the more I am confident that what I am telling you is correct. Okay. Tell me about Chort, and what one would have to do in order to defeat it. It is an entity, an embodiment of something that must not be allowed to prevail. I cannot tell you what it is, for I do not know yet myself. Perhaps I will have these answers ready for some other event. Oh, that'd be neat. That would be neat if, like, maybe it is a case, I don't think so, though, that with every character that you make it this far in the game with, there's an increased 1% chance that 6 can actually tell you more about Chort. If it is indeed related to the number of people who go through this. And how many, because I think 6 is projecting himself here, and he's in several, like, million different events which are happening, and talking to each one of us who shows up here to try to defeat Chort. His arm extends, pointing toward the tunnel. This way leads to Chort's domain. After you step into it, you will be prone to its influence. Your fragile mind will be exposed to violation. Far to the north, you will see an entangled gate. Behind it lies Chort. The details of Chort's destruction I do not know. After it is done, again, the artifact must be returned to the Faceless. Oh, I asked the wrong question of him. We had a chance to ask him more questions, but I guess I'm not going to get them. Oh, but maybe we'll get them after all. Let's be nice to 6. I will do as you ask. It serves both me and you, it seems. But I'm going to need a bit more information if I'm going to do it. I will share such information. Are there any people in Deep Caverns, besides the Chortists, I mean? I was told that the man was spotted relatively near Hollow Earth multiple times. The Faceless described him as one with a chaotic mind. He's the only one of your kin that could be found here, as far as I know, excluding the Chortists. Where can I find this man? His exact location is unknown to me. It was unimportant. I do recall that he was noticed in Faceless territory, slightly north of their checkpoint at the eastern exit from Hollow Earth. I know nothing more than that. Tell me about Chort. I have difficulty comprehending Chort, but I may look at it from a different perspective. Go by what I have told you so far, lest I risk confusing you by relaying unfinished thoughts. The Faceless might give you a more appropriate answer. Their information too is limited, but their mindset is closer to yours. And you mentioned an Entangled Gate, behind which I'll find it. What does this mean? I was only told of it, but it is supposed to act as an entrance to Chort's location. The gate is large and sturdy, while this entanglement is made of thick organic matter, most likely produced in the same fashion as the spawn which guard it. How do I get through it? I do not know. It is unlikely, however, that you will be able to easily remove this entanglement. I made a few observations which might help you. From what I have been told, the spawns rarely venture far from Chort. I have seen them attack the Faceless checkpoints to the east, outside their domain, but they would not pursue me past the south exit from the area. This tunnel is there. This tunnel here. What do you mean? He raises his arm, just like before, but this time points west, up here. There is a cavern there which contains fungal organisms that are different than others in Deep Caverns. Perhaps that is the reason the spawn were unwilling to follow me. If you find no other way to remove the entanglement, go there. Maybe you will find something of use. Speaking of that, where can I find supplies around here? Speak to the Faceless. They'll give me supplies. Possibly. That is not what I meant, however. There is a section of abandoned storage buildings in their territory, east of Hollow Earth. A resourceful person, such as yourself, should be able to find something usable there. You seem to know the Faceless well. What can you tell me about them? We cooperated, and I have visited their home not too far from here. They are not your enemies, unless you've mistreated them in the past. Think carefully about your previous actions before engaging them, but whatever your personal disposition towards the Faceless, the artifact must be returned to them. What are they, exactly? They are more similar to your kin than you might think, and they are even connected to mine. Do not obstruct their workings. Their mission is important to us all. Is there anything else you need to know? Tell me about yourself. What are you and where are you from? I am bound to this place only temporarily by my mission. I do not belong here. I am a creature, like you, but I am not of this world of yours. And while you are submerged completely under it, I stand with one foot in it, and with the other outside. Tell me about what awaits me once I step through that tunnel. Hollow Earth. Your kin built it in ages which came before, but their own foolishness also raised it. That is what I have been told. It is the home to Chort's influence and its spawn, creatures that exist for no other purpose than to defend their master. They are legion. Attempting to weed them out is futile, for they will come after you again and again. But despite that, the creatures are not the greatest threat. Chort itself is. Ending its existence is where your focus should lie. It will be your worst enemy, one you will not likely see until the event in which it is destroyed comes to its resolution, at which point all of his minions should perish as well. What does the artifact do, and why does Chort want it? The artifact's purpose is a complex one. It is a powerful item. That should be enough. I think the information will prove useful. It will not. The artifact's purpose should not be your concern. You only need to make sure it's returned to the Faceless. Fine. I'm ready to go. Good. It is time for me to leave too. We will see each other after Chort has been destroyed. I hope you know what you're talking about. I'm off now. Very well. I wish you success. Okay, everyone. Let's quick save so we don't have to worry about talking to him again. I probably will check on my voice as well. I tried to record a little bit of this earlier, and I noticed that my voice with the game was not very good. That makes me a little worried that I had things perfect the last time I recorded, but I moved the microphone every so often, and so it might have been moved into a worse position. Oh my god! Look at that vest! I mean, we're wearing better. We're wearing much better. But if I was worried about electrical damage, that should be the vest I wear. So I built this armor for no reason. How about that? Do I have any fabric kits? I do not. We'll have to keep an eye open for a fabric kit so we can repair this. Okay, so we're gonna use this box as a place where I can store things for future use here in Deep Caverns. At least that's the current plan. So let's go ahead and place our galvanic Tichrome armor in here and our mine cracker. Oh, I just saw the negative on mine cracker. Equip, resolve decreased by 50%. So that's our chance to resist stuns or immobilization effects or psychic attacks or what have you. Interesting. So we take more damage from psi attacks while it's equipped. Still, there's no durability on this weapon, so if we run out of electric repair kits, our shock Tichrome sledgehammer will stay here, and we'll probably start using Minecracker. Unless we can craft, I don't think we'll be able to. Unless we can craft a even better sledgehammer that's a normal sledgehammer compared to our shock Tichrome. Should have done that now that I think about it. I don't need you. Oh, we'll take the chemical blob trap. Absolutely. All right, the rest of the stuff we hold on to. I should mark down. Okay, let's start searching Chort's domain. And I will do my best to explain to you guys what's going on as we adventure through here. So right away, we're going to see a debuff get applied to us. There it is, Creeping Dread. Every 4 to 5 seconds, we will get another stack of this. Oh, I want to drink hold on. I want to drink one of these. We will earn another stack of it. There's another. Okay, but there's at least one more mine here. Once that reaches 20 stacks of Creeping Dread, we will be afflicted with a different debuff called Eye of Chort. What does this debuff do? Every time it stacks, it adds 2% more to the amount of reduced damage and accuracy that your character has. It maxes at 20 stacks, and then the next time it ticks, it becomes something altogether different. I'm going to take some of this stuff off these corpses so that I know I've searched them. And the reason for this is because there are certain items that we are looking for in here. Oh, hold on. All right, we're at 16 stacks. So how do you get rid of the stacks? You leave. You go to a place that cannot have this debuff on you. there are so places outside, basically places outside or underneath Hollow Earth. And as you can see, it now expires. At 20 stacks, it's a minus 40% to your offensive skills. So in other words, your chance to hit is being reduced significantly, and your damage as well is being reduced somewhat significantly by the decreased stats that you're being inflicted with. It also will change into a new ability, a new debuff called, I think, Eye of Chort. Okay, wait, can I go this way? No. What Eye of Chort does is, as long as that debuff is active, the Chortlings will begin spawning. Chortlings are, the best way I can describe them would be like the Tanari. If you've played Dungeons & Dragons 2nd Edition, and in particular played a campaign that involved demons. Oh, we want those. We want this. We want pendulums. A set of 4 identical metal balls, each suspended by 2 strings. When you set them in motion, interesting things happen. Chortlings come in, I think, 3 or 4 different types. I can't remember what they're called, but I just remember what they do. Alright, let's leave again before we get 20 stacks. One type is a melee creature. It'll look like a demon or something of the sort. And it does decent damage, and it can bleed you as well with its attacks. Okay, we'll talk about the others in a second. So you see this stuff right here? These are different mutagen, as you can see, reagents. We need to find all of them. I can't remember how many there are. There's somewhere like 12 or 16, maybe 20 or 22 of them total. There's a lot of them, and you kind of need every one of them. It's a bit awkward because it makes this entire expedition down here into a rather long scavenger hunt. You know, I should keep only the most important things in this box, or it'll become way too cluttered. Okay, let's go back up there again and keep searching the rest of that area. So a good amount of time was spent with Garrett, checking and double-checking everything, picking up equipment and bringing it to a single locker so I could see the word empty on everything to know for a fact that I had checked it. I'll just do my best to remember this fact this time around, though. I don't think any of the reagents are in a random place. I think you're guaranteed to find them in all the same places. In other words, we picked up 4 mutagens, and those 4 mutagens, I think, are always located in those 3 containers. You'll notice as well that we see lots of dead Chortists. We also saw dead faceless down there, so that's a hint as to what's been going on around here. I mentioned about being under to avoid the Eye of Chort. Oh, a magic kit, nice. I think everyone or most of the areas here in Hollow Earth have a hatch. This will bring you down below 130 hacking. This will bring you down below Hollow Earth, and down here you will be able to avoid having to worry about, as you can see, the Chort debuff. It will fade away and get off of you. Let's have a stuffed bat to help my detection levels. Now, as long as you keep the Eye of Chort off of you... Ooh, good eye there, Gabriel. Almost walked right into that. These areas will just be a bit boring? Is that the way to describe, best way to describe it? There's not much to really worry about. As long as you keep the eye of Chort off of you, you won't have to worry about the Chortling showing up. However, it becomes difficult to do this unless you go into those hatches or leave the area very frequently. Like, we were already at 10 stacks. Let's step down here, and I think we'll charge. Then we charge the hacksaw at least. Yeah, batteries are going to be at a premium here. Did I miss anything? I don't think I did. Okay, so that's this area cleaned up. We don't have lockpicking, so we can't search these shelves. No mutagen, to my knowledge, will be in a place that requires hacking or lockpicking. You can tell from this room, perhaps, what Hollow Earth was all about. Looks like they were doing some sort of science experiments here. Block stuff. We'll still search the boxes until I begin running a little low on batteries. Oh, speaking of batteries, a bunch of useful stuff in there. We're at 15 stacks. Let's go down this way. Oh, can we... Oh, okay. We can just walk through this. No lockpicking, but there's a breakable wall around the corner. And we have... Eye of Chort on us, everyone. The Eye of Chort is upon you, nearly paralyzing you with fear. I have fought Chort, so I can completely understand this. Chort is no slouch. It is terrifying. Losing shrooms. We're gonna go ahead and take some of these. There's another one that I can't click on here. Oh my god! It's not worth it. Ooh, scanner. Scanners are this a ranged psychic Chortling. They are, in my opinion, the most dangerous ones, and they will probably be able to 1 or 2 round Gabriel if they get the drop on us. Hello, Faceless. Flawlessly synchronized aiming between the bots and the Faceless effectively accomplishes its intended goal of making you stop right in your tracks. An instant later, one of the Faceless soldiers, still firmly holding his weapon in one hand, uses the other one to reach underneath his mask. One twist of the wrist activates his synthesized voice. Remain still. Do as you're told. Time passes by in silence, barring the occasional echo or the barely audible sound of cracking as it slithers out of the walls around you. Both parties motionlessly eye each other until the very same Faceless who spoke to you does so again. You may pass. Go north to the warehouses. At the first intersection, go east until you reach an outpost. There you will be sent to our commander. He requested to speak to you. While on our territory, you may not interfere in any way with our matters. You may carry visible weapons, but be aware that you will be confronted should you show any signs of hostility. Now go. Very well. He nods. Okay, let's do exactly as he said to figure out if we are allowed permission to go through this. I think we did everything correctly with Gabriel when it comes to the Faceless. We did Foundry's Faceless first, which allowed us to... It allowed us to talk to the mind reader at Buzzers and convince them that the cube wasn't there. And then when it came to the Faceless who had been captured in the raid on Core City, we freed him and gave him an advanced health hypo. So, and we didn't kill any Faceless except maybe one in the assault on the Chortist Institute. The Faceless gestures you to stop. After a brief pause, he activates his voice and speaks to you. You may pass. Enter the building behind me and speak with our commander. I will not keep your commander waiting. He nods and deactivates his voice. I remember this guy. You find yourself face to face with an armored Faceless of imposing stature. Not a single patch of flesh is left exposed. Cascading shoulder plates, thick breastpiece engraved with a strange symbol, joint pads, and even a skirt-like garment made from thick cloth all serve to encase and protect the being inside. But the tri-horned helmet with a singular cyclopean lens staring at you is this Faceless's most prominent feature. Whether there is one, two, or more eyes behind that lens is not something that's immediately clear, but the powerful weapon grafted into the right arm suggests that monoscopic vision would make its use fairly difficult. Eventually, a synthesized voice addresses you. Please stand still while we extract information from your mind. There is nothing for you to fear. I'm already familiar with the procedure. Let's get this over with. Good. Oh, that's a bit odd. You went over to the leader and scanned him. You begin to feel a strange sensation in the center of your brain. Quickly, it starts shifting from side to side until it expands and vibrates in the areas around your temples as well as within your forehead. Then, a voice slowly grows in your head, gaining in volume and clarity with each passing moment. Relax. I will begin now. This will not hurt you. Once again, you feel the cold metal arm grip your forehead, and your thoughts begin to swirl. You feel as if your mind has transformed itself into a colorful vortex with your consciousness forced into its center. Individual thoughts are randomly lighting up and plummeting throughout your awareness before disappearing into the void. The speed soon increases, turning your thoughts into one continuous streak of light. You try to keep track of what is happening, what memories are being sucked into the void, but no matter how focused you try to be, they simply move too fast for your comprehension. You eventually give up and let them flow. The vortex then, without warning, collapses in on itself, and you feel your external senses slowly tingle back until you become fully aware of them. And the first thing you feel is the cold arm detaching from your forehead. You now feel fully conscious and a part of the real world. The first thing that welcomes you back is the harsh sound of a distorted, faceless voice. Well done. You have fully cooperated with us on every occasion where cooperation was possible. The fact that you didn't join the Chortists' ranks is also something you should be commended on, considering that the alternative path you took in order to reach your goals is a much more challenging one. Hey! We get rewarded, in a way. A nice pat on the back and said, with a thumbs up, for not joining the Chortists. We deem you trustworthy, Gabriel. We are interested in prolonging our cooperation. We can offer you supplies, free passes through Faceless-held territory, and safety within any of our bases of operations. We know that you are looking for Laura Baker and her husband, Terry. She was severely wounded, but was found in time by one of our tunneler units. Otherwise, she would have perished. She's in the medical office, and you may speak to her if you wish. The building with the double doors is the barracks. There you may speak to a quadruple regarding the supplies. Next to it is the medical office. I have granted you the right to 3 ammo and 1 medical package. If you have any further questions, you may speak only to me. I do have questions, as a matter of fact. You may ask them. I met this strange being that calls himself Ra-Umbra. What can you tell me about him? He is not one of us, but we treat him as an equal. He is our ally, and we cooperated on more than one occasion. Where did he come from? We do not know. He is from afar. The technology at his disposal is far more advanced than ours and trivializes it completely. However, more impressive is his knowledge and understanding of this world, and we consider ourselves fortunate to have even a fragment of it shared with us. You should too. Can we return Laura to Southgate Station somehow? No, it is impossible at the moment. Why not? Our resources are necessary elsewhere. The device is our priority right now. Everything else is of less importance. And after you get that device, then it will be possible to arrange for transportation. What's the deal with the cube? What is it, and why is it so important? Why is the cube important to you? It turned half of South Underrail upside down. Many lives were lost because of it. It is a power source. A power source? Yes. You don't have the capacity to understand how it functions, nor how it is used. Even if you did, that information may not be shared with you. Even if you did, that information may not be shared with you? Okay. Oh, sure. In other words, even if we knew how it was powered, even how it worked, they wouldn't tell us what it was used for. I will only say that the cube was taken from us and that we must retrieve it. If the cube is exploited, the consequences could prove disastrous. So thinking about how this is a power source with a dire consequence if misused makes me think of this movie from the 80s called My Science Project. That was a favorite movie of mine growing up, and it makes me I guess I'll have this. Do I want to tell you? Maybe you'll watch it. I think the movie's even on YouTube. It was I liked it. I mean, it's cheesy, but I liked it. Whatever. We'll talk about it in the next video, I think. Are you implying it could be used as a weapon? Possibly. You're not telling me much. I am telling you what you need to know. The cube must be returned to us. We know where the cube is located, but we currently do not possess the means to retrieve it. I presume the cube is with Chort. Correct. The cube was brought to it by the Chortists. Before, we weren't certain how the cube reached the Institute of Chort. Your mind clarified that to us. How was the cube taken from you? Stolen. By an agent of an organization we aren't familiar with, and all due to our fault. We failed to see through his deception. So you tracked it. So it's not Cornell. It's not Cornell. So you tracked this agent to Core City. Yes. After that, his trail disappears. Your mind offered us another possibility of his allegiance. Oculus. We weren't aware that such an organization even exists, let alone try and connect it to the device's disappearance. But these details are of secondary importance. Device's retrieval is of the primary. Again, you're not telling me much. I'm telling you what you need to know. We could end up in an endless loop here. You can't get past that field, right? We're talking about the creeping doom feeling that we had. Correct. Its degenerative effect is something we haven't been able to circumvent or counteract. It seems to be especially more potent against our kind than it is against life forms with different types of neural activity. What does that mean exactly? It means that Chort's influence is not exerted to the same degree across all affected life forms. The more complex the neural activity of the unit is, the greater the interference, resulting in a more destructive effect to the affected organism. I see. I had other things to ask you. You may ask them. I rescued one of you in Core City. Where is he now? Is he alive? No. He perished during the invasion of the Institute. At least he died fighting for a cause he believed in. His contribution was indeed significant. What can you tell me about Chort? We have little concrete data on Chort, for we never came in contact with it or any of its biomass, but the knowledge we possess eliminates all but one conclusion. Chort was created by the merging of several Biocorp scientists to a single powerful being, a process which could not have been realized without the aid of powerful mutagens in which the creation occurred. So it's something like a huge malformed monster. We know nothing of its appearance. We do suspect a being of such potent and far-reaching mental capabilities is likely to be enormous in size in order to properly contain a sufficiently large brain. But as these mutations are highly unpredictable, it is even possible that the brain mass rests outside of Chort's body. Oh, that'd be like one of those illithid brains. I can't remember what it's called now. And the illithids are mind flayers from 2nd edition. There's a huge mind which rests in this like pool of psychic energy, fluid, and it communicates with the illithids or mind flayers around it to have them do things, if I recall correctly. Discussing its actual form any further would only end in useless speculations. How come you suspect it was made after the mutated Biocorp scientists? Because those are the very same scientists that were responsible for us. Responsible? They made us. Tell me about you, the Faceless. I will. The research complex, that is where the very first of us were made. We were mutants. We were experiments. We existed not because we needed to, but because we could. And we were many and different. We merely existed, until we were shown that we could be something else, something more than test subjects of the men and women who created us. What happened? We were not created equal. One of us possessed an outstanding intellect, and that gave him access beyond the confined limits of our world, which placed him in a position to play a crucial part in our escape. For Biocorp was at its end, and he knew it, and planned for it. When the moment finally came, he seized it. He leads us away, and he still leads us to this very day. As for those who used us, some were killed, some escaped, but the ones who exploited us the most were thrown into the mutagen tanks. Was it justice, or revenge, or both? That I cannot tell you, but the fact of the matter is that our birthplace became their grave. Or so we thought. Together as one, they now constitute Chort. Whether their minds remain separate or not after the merging is irrelevant, for every mind is in itself a set of multiple cognitive systems, functioning at varying levels of consciousness. Think of them like processors, I suppose, in a single CPU. Therefore, their minds, whatever the case regarding their identity may be, now serve as faculties to a higher mind, whose presence we can all perceive whenever we are inside its field of influence. It is inarguably Chort's greatest asset. Every mind is more than the sum of its parts, yet Chort's is so much greater than its constituents, that it raises many questions, to which we still do not have answers. Who is your leader? That I may not say. You have personally witnessed all these events? With a question mark, in fact. No, I did not exist back then, but I know it. What happened once you escaped? We became what you see now. But further than that, I may not go. That is all I may tell you regarding us and our past. Are there any other people in Deep Caverns that I could talk to? Yes. In a cavern straight to the west of here lives an old man who appears to have been living in Deep Caverns for a long period of time. We read his mind when one of our patrols encountered him, and it was a chaotic one. Meaning, he is insane. We could not extract much useful information from him due to this very reason, but he is not a threat to us or our goals, so we took no action against him. He was seen near the warehouse block a few more times, but will retreat as soon as he noticed our presence. I see. I had no questions at the moment, then, Commander. Goodbye. We'll come back and talk to him about some other stuff after we go and talk to that gentleman. We'll also wait on Miss Baker as well, since I plan to come back here at least once. And it would be, I think, a little more thematic to wait a little bit. Oh, interesting. You can drill a hole through here too. I guess this is if the you want to. So if I guess if you're fighting the faceless, those plasma turrets. If this looks too grueling, and it does, you can destroy this wall to break through. A heads up that if you have a good dexterity or agility, you can click on this rock and you can make a jump over here to this rock. Like you can skirt around this little ledge to that spot. But I think you need like a 10 or a 9 agility to do it. Sleepy, everyone. So I think we're going to cut it a little bit short this episode. We're going to go west and do a battle against some large burrowers and I think a single Death Stalker. And then we'll call the session, so we'll end it with a little bit of fighting. Next video will be a lot more talking and quite a bit of looting. We're going to be checking the warehouses for things. Down here, there's a large family of burrowers. We actually don't even need to fight them. If you're playing on oddity mode, you will want to fight them because there is a 1-point oddity item in this rubble. But for us, the only reason we would want to fight them is for all these different mushrooms, which I'm not even sure what they do. I suppose we could. Let's see, where's my process? Process play. Yeah, yawning. I'm gonna fall asleep soon. Oozing mushroom. Symbiotic colony of bacteria and yeast that can be used in concocting regenerative medicine. Oh, maybe this is used in super health hypos. A lake poppy. A toxic, potentially deadly substance that should not be consumed on its own. Muscarine. Spirit poison. This is a vile spirit poison. When injected into the victim, it may cause paranoia and hallucinations. I know you're right here. You're not! There is totally a Death Stalker right around the corner. I know there is. And it sees me. I know it does as well. Do I have any flares? I have no flares. Missed, you jerk. So it ran around the closest corner. It could be here. It's not. So then it probably teleported here. Can I kill it? Yes. Nice. Oh, I'll take this stuff. I also want the corpse to fade away. I do not want to have to worry about dealing with misclicking on corpses here. Okay, everyone. Let's go ahead and fight us some burrowers, shall we? I don't even think we need to activate our shield. I think we'll be perfectly fine without it. The burrowers, I don't think, can get through our armor. That was on the lower side. Nice. 3 killed in one turn. We'll step a little bit back to make the Burrower warrior have to work for it. 28 still can't get through our defenses. Good. I was hoping this would move next to us so we can kill the little one via electricity. Man, it feels so good playing this guy. Like, this is what it's all about. Taking on a swarm of insects with a space marine, and they can't even hurt us. There's nothing they can do. Coming for you, Burrower. Nice crit. Nice crit, Gabriel. And it's over. That was a fun way to end this. Let's recharge our hammer. Same thing with our sword. Didn't even take a single point of damage. Oh man, that's sad. We just killed a whole family of them. So we could use some repairs on our equipment. Wow. We don't really need repairs on it either. So we're going to search the bodies, and I mostly am only doing this just because... Actually, I can even do this off screen. So this is what we fought for. Fossilized egg. Unborn life made stone eons ago. Hauntingly beautiful. And that will do it for us, everyone. Thank you guys for watching. So we did quite a bit of talking. Maybe not as much as I originally wanted to, but still, we'll talk to the old guy inside the building next, in next episode. I just want to pluck all this stuff off these remains, and we'll leave it all in the rubble. And then we'll do, I think, a task for him, and then he can teach us a very important feat, which will allow us, there's a chance that the creeping doom will not increase when it occurs every 4 seconds. I think it's like it felt like a 50% chance, like a coin flip, that it will, whether or not it will increase. And that will keep us from having to worry about Eye of Chort for a little longer, which will prove useful. In any case, I'm babbling. I will see you guys in the next one. Take care, everyone.